다가 즉 친럽다 시지 덴베 엔다 솔라가 다 디나라 다가 아니 인야다 쟁기 솔라랍도 좀 디타네 엔다 지 토고차가 쇼레 들이지 다스라나 도스 제 지들이 메인도잖아요 엔다가 랍도 좀 아니 존진데 넘버 2 장원로리아 to
Vice Chancellor Lord Alton, faculty and students of the university, and distinguished guests, it's a great honor for me to be present in this wonderfully holy and majestic cathedral in which I've been given the honor of the Honorary Fellowship of the University of Liverpool's John Moores University. So I would like to express, first of all, my deep appreciation for this honor.
현대한다 아마 모두다 차가나야기 금제마 수인도 전에 나중에다 상부 차로 전부 주셔버디 탈이야 엔다 그게 문진다 아니 교전하버디 투시슈이
I would particularly like to express my deep appreciation to the wonderful words of encouragement and support in Lord Alton's citations, where basically he fully supported all the work that I have tried to dedicate my life for, particularly in the promotion of human values.
And there they are the Council the Nyanda Chengi, the media and the Chandone Mada Kashure, lecture to start share Kugo Chumba, Shakabju.
And of course, it's a great honor for me to have this opportunity to give the lecture, which is dedicated to this famous citizen of Liverpool, William Roscoe.
And particularly, I really feel happy. The place, a short while ago, so I learned, you see here, although the believer of, the Catholicism and Anglican, but live harmoniously. I think in the spirit of spiritual brothers, sisters. So when I heard that, it is wonderful. Because I believe all different traditions, and particularly a different tradition which come from same source, must live in the spirit of spiritual brothers and sisters. It's extremely important. Some time ago, I visited Northern Ireland, and I actually saw some people there. I really feel very, very, heartbroken, right?
No, sad.
Very sad. So here I heard, generally, I think that spiritual sort of harmony is something very living. And then also, as you mentioned, the sort of concept of entire humanity as a brothers, sisters, as a one. I think that's, you already have this kind of, concept, and it seems, I think, practicing that these traditions still alive or living. That's wonderful. So, in this respect, they not only dream, not only plan, but already achieved. So, therefore, no need my lecture. Of course, this sort of significant sort of ceremony, the ceremony conductor, master of ceremony is very much concerned, even step by step. So, with that kind of atmosphere, my broken English sometimes spoiling that occasion, solemn occasion, right? And also, frankly speaking, in front of English people, English is your mother tongue. So, unlike French or German, in front of these people, sometimes I have more courage to speak my broken English. But in front of English people, sometimes a little shy. But don't care. But in order to save time and in order to communicate directly, I prefer speak my broken English. Occasionally, his help. As perhaps I think most of the audience may know, or some cases may not. I'm another just human being. Same. Me and you, mentally or emotionally, I think as a human intelligence, we all is the same. And also we all have the same potential of good, potential of constructive, as well as the potential of destructive. All have same. So I think on that level, we can communicate easily. We can develop genuine friendship, genuine trust. Through that way, we can develop genuine, happy human family. So with that belief, I always talking with other fellow human being, irrespective what difference of culture, what difference of faith, whether believer or non-believer, even anti-religious people, it doesn't matter. Basically, we are same. So, it's, I think, my fundamental sort of belief, time passes, and also, you see, with our deeper experiences, and also facing new reality, I think human concept, more broader sort of concept, is now coming. If we look 20th century, I think people's way of thinking of early period of 20th century and later period of 20th century, I think much changed. I think I may refer, I think in 1996, I had great sort of, happy moment, a meeting with late Queen Mother. I asked her, according her, the humanity becoming more, or world becoming more civilized, or better, or worsening. Without hesitation, she responds, world becoming better. Not just wishful thinking. Then she explained that when she was young, in England, hardly no concept about human right or right of self-determination, these things. Nowadays, these things are becoming universal concept. That's her view, her response, her answer. I believe also, I think, world becoming more, mature, humanity becoming more mature. So, on a larger scale, I think now, today, in beginning of 21st century, I think there are many, many people who are deeming better world, more peaceful, more compassionate, more harmony, and more prosperity, more equal. I think this is a sign of hope. As I mentioned earlier, reality of the world, economy, environment, and population, and many, many things, now new things, a new reality. But sometimes people who deal with that, deal with the reality through old concept. So, because of new reality, all they pursue it or deal with that with old concept is unrealistic. So that's why sometimes it seems unnecessary additional problems happen. So, according to new reality, I usually call whole world, it's just now small planet. Whether we agree one another, whether we have different interests or not, we have to live on this planet together as a human society. So, I think concept on the basis of nationality, country, ideology, system, faith, these are not important. The reality, heavily interdependent, interconnected in modern economy, or ecology problems. And also, I think, the interest of the whole world, the economy field, the present gap, rich and poor, on global level and within the nation, national level, so this gap is certainly unhealthy situation. This is not only morally wrong, but practically also source of problem. So when we look at that reality, when we face that, so we have to think wider perspective. That kind of serious reality there, situations there, but think just me, just my family only, will not sort of fit with that sort of reality. So we need think more broadly. That I describe sense of universal responsibility or global responsibility. And then the key thing, all these things are motivation, way of thinking, more altruistic way of thinking brings these sort of concepts. More extreme, sort of narrow-minded, selfish thinking will not go with these concepts. So now the secular ethics. What is secular ethics? Firstly, I would like to share with you what is the meaning of secular. According to some, of course, actually, I do not know what's the exact meaning of secular. You know better. But roughly speaking, some of my friends, secular means sort of rejection of any faith. I think some of my Indian friends in India, not that way. They consider secular is something neutral, something sort of positive attitude towards all religions. No particular sort of religious sort of preference. Equal, respect, all traditions. Then here, when I talk secular ethics, some people, just before coming here, I met another Jewish gentleman, short conversation, including him. He said that many people have the belief that without any religious belief, religious or what say belief, or faith, it's very difficult, you see, to develop ethics. Many years ago, in Germany, I had one sort of serious sort of discussion with someone who similar sort of belief. When we talk moral ethics, there must be foundation. That's a faith. But then, I feel, obviously, what's the ethics? Ethics means, I think, the certain right kind of emotion, right kind of mental attitude, which brings happiness, satisfaction to oneself and in the family, in the community. There is something positive, something constructive. So that we call positive. Right? And something related with emotion or mind, we call ethics. I think the example, when we were, as I think, as you, in my introduction, I mentioned he's 2 years old. That time, I don't think any sort of recognition or special feeling of recognition of Dalai Lama. I think at that time, my most concern is my close feeling with my mother and the mother's milk. And recently, in America, I met one American, just to talk, and he mentioned to me his son, one small, asked him, "Oh, Saddam Hussein, he also, when he was young, he also is much cherishing about mother's sort of affection." His young son asked to him such questions. I think that's the thing. Everybody, without a mother, we are not here. We come from our parent, particularly from our mother. And after birth, at least a few years, without mother or someone else sort of care, you can't survive. So our survival happened or achieved because of someone else's affection, someone else's care. And usually those children who grown up in the atmosphere of human affection, that these people themselves eventually becoming more kind-hearted person. Those children who miss when they are grown up these sort of human affection, then they themselves sometimes find it difficult to show other people real affection. So result, their life becoming more miserable. Money, power cannot replace of these inner human value, human affection. So now look, these are human values. These are the real sort of, the foundation of human ethics. So when a person, a child, 1 year old or 2 year old, religious faith not yet come. Although parent may take some baptism of these things, but child himself, herself, no idea about the faith. But human compassion is very much sort of crucial at that time. So that's the human value. That's the basis of ethics. Since that, without much related with religion, so I call secular ethics. Of course, if we look various different traditions, various different traditions, the essence of all the faith, all the tradition, is love, compassion, forgiveness, self-discipline, contentment, tolerance. These are the same message in all traditions. So that is the clear indication that all tradition, the main message is these human values. So the religious tradition simply strengthening or promoting this human value. But human value itself, essentially, I think, could be separate. So,
from religious faith.
From religious faith. So, if anyone who have religious faith, yes, there is much stronger sort of basis of human values. If properly used, the religious faith. If sometimes the religious faith used negative way, different way, then sometimes religion also becoming instrument of trouble, more complication. But if people, they practice religious faith sincerely, seriously, honestly, then all religions have the sort of a great potential to increase these human values. But at the same time, another way is to propagate these human values without touching or without involving religious faith. Now, how? I believe scientific basis. Now, a modern medical scientist, some begin to feel, begin to realize human emotion is important factor for health and also for recover from illness and also as a preventive measure for certain illness. Then obviously everyone recognize the peace of mind is something very important in our life. So I think one example was some scientist experimented on monkey. Those young monkey put with their mother, and some young monk, because young monk, not young monk, not monkey. Some young monkey separated from their mother. Then, because observed those young monkey who live with mother, much more playful, happier, less fighting. Those monkey who separate from mother, always agitated mind, always ready to fight. This is one example. Then another example. Now with latest missions, when they, they sensor, I don't know what the proper word, level par jati.
No. Using machines like MRI and
They when like compassion, it's a peaceful sort of moment of mind. During that period, there was activities in this side of brain more active. So that's generally considered positive, good for health, good for the person, for happy person, in order to be a more calm person. Then agitated mind, anger, hatred, these side, more active. So some scientists do realize the mental attitude really makes change in their brain. Through that way, whole body. Then another example. One occasion of our sort of dialogue with scientists, mainly health science. So one doctor showed some sort of her data of her, his study. Then told that meeting that those individuals who often use word me, I, my, things like that, these people have greater chance, greater risk of heart attack. But he didn't mention why. Then I thought, maybe wrong, but I thought, oh, that could be because the person who always think oneself, although everybody is selfish, and it is, I think, realistic. I is the center of the whole universe. Wherever you live, that's the center of the whole universe. So I, self, is the most important factor. And positive or negative, good or bad, who judge that? I, self. So self is the center of the whole universe. But that self is part of the whole universe. And as a human being, oneself is part of the humanity. If humanity happy, I will happy. If humanity suffer, I will suffer. Humanity like one's body. So every part of the humanity is part of my body. So that's the reality. But then, but our concept, sometimes due to ignorance, due to lack of experience or lack of awareness, extreme sort of selfish, the self-centered. So think just me, just I. So then mind automatically becoming very narrow. So within that attitude, even small problems appears something big. As a result, you feel unbearable, much more worry, much more anxiety. When we think humanity, of course, does not sort of forget one's own interest or one's own sort of happy future. But my happy future is part of the future of humanity. Think humanity as a whole. Then automatically your mind becomes open, wide. So with that sort of mental attitude, even serious problem of yourself, and appears not that much significance, just a normal. There are a lot of problems on this planet. So one of the problems come to me, okay. I think that makes differences. Although bigger problem, but because your attitude and the problem which is receiving your mind, mind is so vast or open, so not significant. Result, emotionally, much easier to face that. This is a problem. I have to tackle. I have to overcome. But not that much of sort of depression or hopelessness or something like a whole world becoming dark, not that kind of thing. So I think that makes that differences. So selfish viewpoint, think more about others. You get benefit. So sometimes I usually describe selfish, wise selfish. Wise selfish is much better than foolish selfish. So that we can train, we can change our mind through awareness, not through prayer, not through meditation, but simply analyze the reality according to modern medical situation, medical result, medical sort of science, as well as the world at large thing. So I think like this university, and through education, of course those students or those people, those younger people who have faith, then according to their faith, you can promote these human values. And then those individuals who have no particular religious faith, then through sort of scientific sort of understanding or explanation, you can make, you can educate these people. So now today, I think unlike ancient time, in ancient time, society hold more religious sort of faith. So the religious concept is very much dominant. Now in modern society, not that. So in education field, education center or education institution, I think have more important role for deeper human values. These, secular ethics. So it is very important. And I think now as a plan, important with this dream, and our plan should be more emphasis on moral ethics or including secular ethics in the education institution. So development of the brain, development of the heart go together. The result, the individual becoming more happier, more courageous, more self-confidence, and more open-minded, more compassionate. And through that way, a tremendous sort of benefit for build happy human family, eventually happy humanity, happy world. So that's about secular ethics. So if you feel some interest, think more. If you have not much interest, then leave it in this hall, finished. Thank you.